Before we go to our first guest, who is Mary Jones, she is a candidate for Congress running against sitting Congressman Scott Taylor. I have a special announcement for you. This is Martha Bonetta here on the John Frederick Show with a special message from America First Policies. The Korean War never officially ended. North Korea has remained a menace since. Despite promises to previous administrations, it continued to develop weapons of mass destruction, nuclear bombs, long-range missiles, and sold its deadly technology to rogue regimes across the world. It bypassed international sanctions and sold its own people into slavery to finance its deadly agenda. Now, after long talks and action from Washington, North Korea is ready to come to the negotiating table. Leaders from North Korea and the U.S. plan to meet for the first time ever in Singapore. I've been to Singapore. It is the head of this murderous regime ready to negotiate in good faith, put an end to his nuclear program, and finally allow the Korean people to live in peace. Call Congress and tell them politics ends at the water's edge. 202-224-3121. Americans must stand united as we approach this historic summit. For more information, go to americafirstpolicies.org. This message paid for and authorized by America First Policies Incorporated. We have our first guest with us this morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the Commonwealth, and that is Mary Jones.
Good morning, Martha. Thank you for having me on.
Good morning, Mary. You are running in which congressional district?
Yes, ma'am. I am running to represent the 2nd Congressional District in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. You're running against Scott Taylor. And I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about your campaign. Also, if you were to become the nominee, what you would do to win against the Democrat candidate.
Absolutely, and thank you. And I am running because I obviously feel strongly enough that I am running, that President Trump needs more reliable allies in Congress to repeal Obamacare, secure our borders, rebuild our military, and take care of our veterans. It is time to put the American people first. And I will work hard for the citizens in the 2nd Congressional District, as well as for the entire country, to defend the Constitution and work with other Freedom Caucus members to put the American people first.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, in terms of the congressional district itself, for our listeners, can you tell everyone what the 2nd Congressional District includes? And also speak a little bit to the fact that it's a +1R and what that means and how important it is to get the vote out.
Yes. The 2nd Congressional District has historic significance, and it includes James City County, the city of Williamsburg, York County, the eastern half of Norfolk, the eastern half of Hampton, all of Virginia Beach, and also the Eastern Shore. And it also has, the Hampton Roads area has the highest concentration of military and federal facilities. And it is critical. And so, of course, we have a very high population of veterans. And it is time to make sure that we're taking care of our veterans. And it is a great concern to me that is still an issue. And that is a specific issue that I will work diligently to make sure that our veterans are being taken care of and that we're securing our borders. And it is absolutely that the America First agenda. When I'm out door knocking, I'm all over the 2nd Congressional District, and the issues that are so concerning to the people that live here are making sure that we are building the wall, securing our borders, cracking down on illegal immigration, and putting the American people first. And it is a Republican district, and it is important. I tell people all the time, if you don't stand up and speak up today, inevitably somebody else is going to tell you when you can stand up and when you can speak up. And our district, as throughout the country, the forgotten men and women are standing up, and it is a Republican district, and we will get the vote out.
That's absolutely right, and it's absolutely critical, as you know, to get the vote out. So let me ask you, how are you distinguishing yourself from Scott Taylor?
First and foremost, he is working with Paul Ryan for open borders and amnesty, and I will work to secure our borders. I will work with President Trump and Freedom Caucus members like Dave Bratt to make sure we're cracking down on illegal immigration and enforcing the current laws that we have on the books. And illegal immigration is costing our taxpayers billions of dollars, and it impacts our schools, it impacts our healthcare system, it impacts our court system. And again, we need to put the American people first and make sure that we're taking care of our veterans and continue to defend the Constitution.
Absolutely. And let's do this. Let me ask you this. If you become Congressman Mary Jones, will you join the Freedom Caucus?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
And in terms of,
And
yes.
I will say my opponent is a member of the Climate Caucus, which pushes for cap and trade, and they insert cap and trade and sustainability language into any piece of legislation that they can.
Understood. So, a topic that's near and dear to my heart is criminal justice reform. And as you probably know, Mary Alice Johnson, I love Mary Alice Johnson. I think she is the story of freedom and what makes America so great. She was just recently released. She was in prison for a minor drug possession, and she was given a lifetime sentence. Mm-hmm. And she's a mother and a grandmother. And this to me is an example of why criminal justice reform is so critical in our country. And this is really an issue that is nonpartisan the way I see it. I mean, it shouldn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. We need criminal justice reform in our country. And I was hoping you could speak a little bit to that. This is something that is near and dear in my heart. I have been working for criminal justice reform for many years now. And it's really important to me that we work together to make sure that what happened to Mary Alice Johnson doesn't happen again.
Absolutely. And Martha, I want to thank you for all the work that you do in standing up for liberty and freedom.
Thank you.
And justice reform, our courts should not be politicized, and it should be equal justice. And we haven't seen that. And we have the highest incarceration population in the world. And also, if you look at, for example, I was reading an article recently specifically talking about simply the abuse of the fines on people for traffic violations as an example. And once people get into the system, it's very difficult for them to get out of the system. And I think it is time to really take a good look at our criminal justice system so that we're not having a police state. And for example, asset forfeiture is an issue. I think that that is something that we have got to take a look at.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And, this is such a critical time in Virginia. As you know, we have an opportunity here to just, bring in true liberty-minded individuals into Congress, and I call it the Commonwealth comeback, if you will. And I'm excited. We have so many tremendous candidates. And let me ask you this: as far as what are your top 3 issues that you're running on your platform for Congress?
Top 3: repeal Obamacare, secure our borders, and then rebuild our military and make sure that we're taking care of our veterans. We also have got to cut back on spending and entitlements. We're $21 trillion in debt. The Congress must do their job and pass a budget, because continuing resolutions are detrimental to our military and their ability to properly plan. But we're passing on debt to our children and their children that they're going to have to pay for. And my opponent voted for 2 omnibus spending bills, a $1.1 trillion omnibus spending bill that continued to fund sanctuary cities, as well as Planned Parenthood, and also a $1.3 trillion spending bill that continued to fund sanctuary cities, as well as Planned Parenthood. And we have got to have people that are willing to go in, roll up their sleeves. That's why it's critical to provide more reliable allies, not just to our president and to the American people, but to other liberty-minded representatives like those in the Freedom Caucus so that we have strength in numbers.
Mary, we have to go to a break very soon. I want to thank you so much. And we're here in Virginia 2018 election headquarters right here in studio. And hopefully you'll be able to listen to the rest of the show. I know you're going to be busy out there campaigning. And I thank you so much for coming on.
Vote on June 12th. And to find out more information, you can go to maryjonesva.com.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.